Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the League of Inches podcast. It is our State of Origin Game 2 squads, I guess, reaction. Well, it's sort of squads. New South Wales are man enough. We just name our 20. We go, you know what? This is what we got. Come at ya. Queensland are still playing their mind games. It's just a squad for now. We will talk about what we think will happen. But by the time you're probably listening to this, it's Tuesday lunchtime, I heard, is when Queensland will actually name their 1 to 20 number order. But we'll discuss what we think it will be and what I think we can have a rough sort of guess what it is. So, like game one, myself, Trav and Jesse along for this one, 2v1. Always went well last time, so let's see how we go here. Trav, how's things, mate?
Yeah, I'm going all right. Yeah, going well. Monday-itis, but how nice is it to Queenslanders didn't have because the King has a different birthday like 3 or 4 during the year. So, for Queensland,
it's currently 360.
Yeah. So I had to go to work, but how bloody good was it to come home and watch some footy? I thought that was awesome. So got to watch some footy. Don't care about the result. All good.
I was all for Monday night footy, bringing it back until the result. So now Monday night footy can get stuffed. Jesse, how's things, mate?
Yep. Good, man. I had the day off today, which was nice. I didn't realize that you Queenslanders didn't get the King's birthday. So
no, I did.
Sorry about that. But yeah, no, it was good. Monday footy is always a bit weird, don't you think? It's just a bit of an unusual one. It's thrown my whole week. When you said that, Supercoach is tomorrow, then Wednesday, I'm like, wait a minute, what day is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, nice. Good one. Good long weekend. So
it's a pain for the creators out there. I tell you what, the Monday one really gets me. It just makes me feel like I've got to rush for the next few days, so it's not great. But we are here to talk all things Origin. Second, just before we open this up, apologies. We know one of us was supposed to come on here in the opposite colors, but for some reason, Fox Sports has decided to stop doing this year their actual Supercoach scores for the teams, which every other year they've done it. So I don't know why this year they must have decided they wanted to help save. I don't know who was looking like they were doing it, but I don't think it was me. I was looking on fire. But we weren't able to do that competition. So great idea. I think I loved it in context, but we just can't because can't get the scores. We are still at the moment looking for the scores. So anyone listens to this, can they work it out or just find a way to get to the scores for us? Game 1 Supercoach scores, so we can actually follow through on the bet and do another one for game 2. Would be really appreciated. Jesse, get your Supercoach mind going. Actually, why am I doing a call out? This is you all over.
Do the math on the actual scores.
Surely.
It's hard. It'd be tricky too. I'd be able to probably translate a few of them from the fantasy stats because they still score them for the Origin games, but it's not exactly the same. Yeah, it's not exactly the same. It would be very different. So, yeah, I don't know. It's too hard, honestly. I could try, but it'd be pretty bad.
I think you try, you sexy beast. Anyway, the New South Wales Blues, as I said, are in order. So basically, guys, I'm not going to run through this because all you need to do right now, 1 to 7, exactly the same as last game 1. Obviously, 8, unfortunately, Mitch Barnett, great game 1, has been killing it this year. Out with that ACL, horrible to see. So Max King comes from the bench into the starting side, which I think everyone anticipated. And then you go from 9 all the way through to 16, exactly the same. And Stefano Utoila Manu, excuse the, for those watching on YouTube, excuse the little spelling mistake there, but Utoi Kamanu, that is in the 17 coming onto the bench from the extended squad. Matty Burton is 18th man. Keon Kalamatangi and Lindsay Smith round out your extended bench. Pretty strong side, Jesse.
Yep. It was pretty much exactly what I'd almost expected too, with Max King starting, Stefano moving in. He was 19th before anyway. There's genuinely no surprises. I did not expect Terrell May's name to be thrown in the mix, considering there was a vacancy right there for him. If there was ever going to be a selection for him, that would have been it as well. But obviously they're just doing everything they can to not pick him. But as far as the team goes, it's fantastic. You couldn't really change anything after game 1. It wouldn't have changed at all had Barnett gotten injured, I reckon. So, yeah, can't fault anything.
It is. It's a bit disappointing, to be fair, because I don't want to get harp on it, but again, like he's had another couple of great games, Terrell May, since game 1. You mentioned it, like the 8 jersey, the starting spot opened up. I think Max King did a great job off the bench, to be fair, in game 1. And I would have been half tempted to leave that set up the way it was because I thought the bench did a great job at Suncorp. So I thought the temptation may have been there, but it's very, very clear now that he is massively on the outer. They can try and deny it all they want. It's very clear. And it is a bit unfortunate because I just feel like he's the second best prop in the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Like it feels so harsh to be dropping him. Or not even picking him, not dropping him.
To not even pick him. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course. It's not even at this point now, it's not any other reason besides the fact that they just don't want to. They just don't want him in the side. They can't blame any other reason for it. They can't blame a backlog of players that they've got to fit in. They lost their starting player and they've just shuffled the pack forward and they brought Lindsay Smith in, who's quality as well. Don't get me wrong, like he's fantastic. A great 20th to bring in, like he'd walk into a Queensland side pretty comfortably, but it's just no Terrell May. It's not going to happen for him. Even Keon too, like he'd probably done enough in the last couple of weeks at prop to warrant a shout as starting too. But again, Max King was the man that he called upon last game. So it is what it is with him. It's very expected, this team.
Yeah. Trav, as a Queenslander, you look at this side. What are your thoughts?
The same as what I thought in game 1. Like, holy crap. Like it is what it is. Like it's just what a blessing that New South Wales have to be able to have these problems. Like and for content creators, we sit there and have a conversation to be had because you're leaving out a dude like Terrell May. But I mean, you said the second best prop in the game. Well, I'm actually going to challenge that in the last sort of 4 weeks and say that I think Colin Matungi's actually played better than Terrell May has. And that's saying something because I think Terrell May's been good too. So I actually think Colin Matungi would be a little bit better in that 8 jersey than King. And I think King off the bench would have been there and I would have had Stefano as the 19th. That's what I would do. But I'm not the New South Wales Blues man. I just think Kula Matangi would just offer some serious grunt. He is just so big and just so powerful, and he tackles and he busts lines, and he's just a big brick wall. And Max King doesn't sort of offer that. Max King. One thing that I really liked, and Max King, we called it. We said that this is what Max King would do in game 1. He came on and he was just your meat and potatoes, and he was perfect. Like that's what you wanted off the bench. Continue the work that the boys had loaded into the Queensland team, and continue that. And he freaking held his own, and he was awesome. And I loved what he did, and we gave him good raps for that. But that's what I think he is, and that's what I think he offers the New South Wales team. Whereas Kula Matungi, you line up Kula Matungi and Payne Haas beside each other, and I'm looking at that, and I'd run away. Like, holy crap! But see, Terrell May doesn't instill fear in me. Terrell May's good, but he doesn't instill that origin fear that Kula Matungi and Max King with the way, Payne Haas have been playing. But yeah, that's kind of my only sort of thing I would do. Otherwise, there's not really anything in this team that screams any need to do anything. Like everyone is playing really well. Everyone's in their spots. They own that spot. They've got minutes in their legs now. It's not something I can talk about, which is what I sort of said was maybe a negative going into game 1. But now they're all fresh, fit, and healthy, really, from as far as I can see. I think is there not a little bit of chatter around Reece Robson and injury, but yeah, other than that, I like it.
He had a bit of a tight hammy, I think, on the weekend. I didn't play the full game, I don't think, either. I think I've got to double check the stats there, but I think he played the full 80. And obviously with the longer break now, hopefully that's good enough for him to recover and be all good. Happy to see that 14 in Connor Watson there in case something does break down, and got complete faith in Connor Watson doing a job if he needs to do. I think you're spot on there. Like, it was a team that did a huge job in Suncorp, and straight away in their post-game interviews, they all spoke about there's at least one more game to go. I'm hoping as a New South Wales fan, that means 2 games to go, and I'd love to sweep. I'd love that to be the center of attention here, but it showed me straight away that this playing group has spoken already about how important it is to get this job done. Like, this is huge, and I like the fact that they've kept everyone that is fit in this spots to do that. I know Stefano was in the team last game, and I feel like that's the reason why he has been picked here. I just don't like if that is the case, though, because for mine, like you sort of rightly have said, Trav, and you've watched him closely being a Storm fan, I actually feel like Keon Matangi has been, like you said about South, one of the standout middles in this last 3 or 4 week period. And I just felt like Laurie should have and could have rewarded that. And actually he would have looked, even if it was just coming off the bench in that role, just in this 1-17 would have been my chosen player. But again, we won game one. I can't question it too much. He obviously chose a few who we looked at in game one and thought, oh, maybe a question mark there, but it all seemed to work okay. Jesse, is that it's probably the only one that is questionable here, that 17 player, the jersey at least, anyway, who's there. Would you have gone Keon, or are you happy with Stefano?
I would have gone Keon, 100%. He's been the most damaging prop. You put Payne Haas in the discussion as number one because he just is. But like I'd say in the last month, or even just since Keon has been playing that prop role, he's been the best prop in the league. Like genuinely, he's just been damaging. Everything that he's been doing has just been insane, and he's scoring tries too. So like to say that Stefano's been better and deserves the spot, I can't see it. But again, like I couldn't see it to begin with, and I couldn't see how he's beaten out, every other prop that was in contention for that spot anyway. So I would say for sure I'd love to have Koloamatangi on the bench. I'd probably love to have him starting, to be fair. But yeah, I'm really not sure what he's done or what they've seen for him to get the selection, to be fair. But it has to be something. Unless they're just going, yeah, cool, we know him, get him in there, it's just safe and whatever it is. But yeah, I would say for sure Keon would be the higher quality pick if you had to choose one.
I think you're right. I was actually going to say before I was going to jump in, but I thought I didn't think you'd say something about that. But to be fair, Stefano hasn't played bad. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been flashy. He hasn't done the work that Koloamatangi's done, or your Haas or your May's done. He's done the role that he's needed to do for the Storm and done it really well. And that's the reason why the Storm have been able to go. Like he got 146 meters on the weekend off in his 50 odd minutes with like a whole, like over 56 post contact meters. So like he had a good game. And obviously Bellamy is involved as the coach in the coaching panel and the selection stuff and things like that. So obviously he's pumped his tires up. He knows that Stefano's going to be able to play that role. We're talking about this guy like he's having a shitty season, and he hasn't. But to be fair, he's not in the realm of Haas, May, and Koloamatangi. So, the question is, why is he getting picked? But yeah, I just wanted to say that because I don't think and I've read a lot of comments around, Stefano's, he's been no good. He's not done. I'm like, well, have you actually watched? Like, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's playing well. He's just not doing what May and Koloamatangi and that are doing, but he doesn't need to either. Like the Storm have that spine that does what they do. So whereas Koloamatangi has to do what he's doing and May has to do what they're doing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it's created some stories for us.
Yeah, no, 100%. I fully agree with you too. And if they just want someone to run out there and just continue the work like King did in the first game, just pick up where the role left off and just go out there and be strong, make your tackles, make your carries, and just, keep ball in play. Yeah, 100%. He's going to do it. No doubt in my mind he'll do it. And that's not a bad thing at all because he'll probably won't. Like, how many minutes did he play in game one? Like, it will be, a 25-minute run, more than likely, 30, give or take. He can easily pump that out in one go with probably no errors and very few missed tackles. And that's what they want out of him. So that's a good thing. Can't knock that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fair enough. I think that is it for the Blues. I think that's a very good position for the Blues to be in, going over to Perth. A game that they win, they can win the series. I think they're sitting in a nice spot at the moment with one change as well. The Queenslanders, it's time to discuss what is happening at the Queensland Maroons. So the squad has only been named at the moment. As I said, by the time you're probably listening or watching this, or it's around lunchtime on Tuesday, their official team is named. But Capewell, Carrigan, Coates, Collins, Cotter, Dearden, Farsal, Malaawi, Fodawaker, Grant, Holmes, Horsburgh, Howarth, Liero, Mam, Mann, Munster, Nanai, Ponga, Tabuai-Fidow, and Robert Toya is your game 2 squad for the Maroons. So the key outs of that is obviously Daly, Cherry Evans, Beau Fermor, Jesse Arthurs, and Fine Fuiaki. And the ins, Kurt Capewell, Corey Horsburgh, Jack Howarth, and Ezra Mam. Couple of stories unfolding here. Jesse, don't give me that smirk, please. There's a couple here. What I'll do first, did it for Jesse for the Blues. I'll throw to Trav first. You look at your squad. It's pretty easy to put a fair few of these pieces of the puzzle together in terms of where they'll play or if they'll play next Wednesday night. What are your thoughts?
My initial thoughts are I'm happy with a couple of the drops. I'm happy with a couple of the ins. Particularly happy with Dearden getting named at the 7. I think, and that's just surely that's what's going to happen. So I'm actually comfortable with that. I'm not happy with a couple of ones. I'm not sure what Fermor did wrong and why he was dropped. I don't understand why Mofo's still there. Yeah, I've got my gist. I still don't understand. Like, it's a squad, but there's still talk that Horsburgh's going to be on the outer, so he's going to be in the extended squad. So he's not going to be named. Without going into depth, which is what you're going to try and start asking questions for in a second, my initial thoughts are I don't mind the squad. I'm happy with a couple of drops. I'm happy with a couple of the ins, but I'm also disappointed with a couple as well.
There is a number of talking points. You're right. Jesse might start getting into it for us, but the Blues' point of view, you have a look at this side, the squad. Sorry. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. I'm stoked with this lineup, to be honest with you. I looked at this initially just before and I thought, what? I didn't expect the Cherry Evans drop. I think I spoke about it when we did our pod last week too. I just thought they would have respected him a bit more to then let him play this series out and kind of let it go. But look, if you thought it was a move that had to be made, and didn't have to be the 7, like, fair point, I guess. We've been talking about it for a little while. Dearden's been quality. He's going to be the next man up. I just thought they could have done the Cherry Evans thing a little bit better. Obviously bringing Ezra Mam into the side, a bit confused there. There's a lot of just question marks, and like the Capewell pickup too. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what they're sort of seeing or what they're going to go with. I don't know how this team's going to line up exactly as well. I agree with Trav. I don't know what Fermor did in his 17 minutes to not get picked. He should have been starting, to be fair. I'm just, the amount of question marks and how confused I am, and even just the lineup gives me the confidence to go, okay, I think the Blues can get this done pretty comfortably. But again, we'll see. It's going to be one of those games over in Perth. It could go either way, but it does not terrify me at all, this team. At all.
Especially going to Perth where the Maroons haven't won yet. Like that's a huge, I guess, stat to overcome. There's plenty of personnel to talk about here. One first question I want to start with. Trav, is Billy starting to overthink as a coach? And what I mean by that is, from a Blues point of view, we've seen it with Freddie. He came in, breath of fresh air. We looked really good early. And then it felt like the more that it dragged on, him being coach, more of these sort of left field choices, sort of in a way him trying to just show everyone that he knows the game better than most and things like that, started to creep into his selections a bit. And it meant that a lot of us New South Wales fans were sitting there going, what's doing? Like, what is doing there? It feels like that's starting to creep in here. I've never heard in the last 24 hours Queenslanders question selections more than they have today. That, for me, starts opening up, going, I don't think everything's all rosy. Trav, come in.
Or is he frozen up?
He's frozen, I think. Jesse, come in.
No, I agree with you. I have seen a lot of people talking about this side just going like, what on earth is happening? I think he kind of lost it, to be fair, in my opinion anyway, personally. I just think when the whole David Fafita thing happened, I just think he's just like, you're really trying to outthink the room here. Like, you've got a good batch of players, quality ones, good ones, and you seem to know better than them. Obviously, he does the game. He's Billy Slater. You can't ignore that. But it's just like, when you weigh up the selections of, and like Capewell in his day was fantastic. he's probably moving a bit past that now. But like, you have these players here, and to be fair, he's probably the catalyst that put Fafita's career on the path that it has been, with that Origin dropping to where he is now. It doesn't take a great deal to do that. You saw what happens to Nico Hines last year for the Blues with the small little thing. Like, Origin's a big stage to really throw it, and if he keeps throwing spanners out like he has, it's a very confusing one. But yeah, I think there's probably something that he's trying to just Hail Mary this game, because he's obviously not got the quality that he needs to compete, through and through against the Blues side at the moment. So he's got to try and find these players that he can, get a diamond out of the rough and just make him for this game, at least get him to shine for it. So yeah, he's gone back to a bit of experience, and Horsburgh's a good addition, but if he's not going to even play him, then like, again, what's the go there too? So yeah, I think it'll be an interesting one to play out. I just want to see the actual squad lineup itself, like 1 through to 17. Might shed a bit more light.
It's a really hard thing to talk about right now, because I don't actually know where they're lining up, and I've got some really serious thoughts about it, like, and where I think people should be lining up and what are we doing. And I've seen some posts. I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say what I've heard just on that. I've heard the forward pack, funnily enough, is going to be lining up exactly the same way it did in game one. Obviously, Dearden will be the 7. I've actually heard that Holmes will play centre, and the Hammer will actually play wing. I'm not too sure about the left or right side at this stage. I've heard Kurt Mann will be the 14, and that's basically put it all together, and that's sort of your team.
Yeah, so that does my head in. So I actually, there's a couple of things. So I really like, well, it is what it is, but I really like the Val Holmes to the center. I think if you're going to pick Val Holmes, you have to play him in his spot. He got exposed in game 1 against gun wingers in Lomax and Toto, and he didn't play against both of them. Obviously, that was a silly thing, but he got exposed from playing against natural wingers, and because he's not a natural winger, he can play there, but he's not a natural winger. And when you've got to line up against that in Origin in that field, in that realm, you've got to be there. And defensively, he just got overexposed, and it hurt. So to me, and I love Val Holmes, you play him in the centers or you don't play him. Simple as that. To me, that's where it is. So I really hope that that's what happens. I really hope that Hammer goes to the wing. I think he's a much better winger than he is a center. But I'm also happy with him in the centers either way, because I think he's a good player. So I was happy either way, but I think he's better to do that. I'm really disappointed if we go with the forward pack and we run it that exact way. Like, I just don't know what Mofo's been offering. Like, he just doesn't offer. Like, okay, he's that big boy, meat and potatoes kind of bloke, but it's not going to help us against this New South Wales pack. It's just not. And so I'm happy for Mofo to be on the team. I don't mind him coming off the bench. Give us that 20, 25 minutes of a brick wall kind of guy to come in and rest and rest the other guys. And I'm okay with that off the bench, but I wouldn't be starting him. That just blows my mind that we're not going Carrigan in the 8 or 10, and Tino is, well, I would assume you're saying it's going to stay. So Tino's going to play in the 10, which means I don't know why we're not, like what you're saying, why he's overthinking the room. Put Carrigan in the 8. That's where he's actually played all year this year. But lo and behold, that's where he's been playing for the Broncos, and they're the best forward pack in the competition, those two. So, like, put him there. And Carrigan is just that guy. Like, he's a gun. So put him there and play him in that, because you're going to have to, so that you can deal with what New South Wales are about to provide. Like, you've got to do that. So put your boys in those spots. The next thing that's doing my head in is Ruben Cotter on the edge. It blows my mind, him playing there. Put Ruben Cotter in the 13. Simple as that. Like, why are we overthinking that? He, in game 1, that didn't offer us much. Put him in the 13 and just sit in there. Like, and I'm fine with that. I really like Cotter. I think he's a really good player. And he's a very good Origin player, and he's played really good games for us, but he's just not that guy on that edge, and he just doesn't do that for us. And for me, he's not in the squad, so I don't know why I'm going to talk about him too much, but that's where Firma should have jumped in. So that's where Firma should swap. Straight up should be starting in that role, but he's not in the squad, so that's not going to happen. So what do we do? And I'm looking at it thinking there's no one else, so he has to go there. Like, so now I'm sitting there with that. So it just does my head in. And I like the Capewell pick, and I like the message he's trying to send is that we want some grunt, we need that experience, and we need that guy. But Capewell's, to me, Capewell's had a pretty good year, but one of the reasons why he's actually been put into this conversation is because he stepped into the center role and has done a really bloody good job in the centers for the Warriors, and so now he's getting himself in that chat. And I think if he's going to play, he plays in the centers. I don't think we bring him off the bench. I don't want a center coming off the bench kind of thing. So I don't think Capewell should be there unless he's actually going in the centers. And I'd be actually okay if Fallon Holmes doesn't get picked and you put him there, or Toya doesn't get picked and you put him there. I'm okay with that with Capewell. I don't mind, but yeah, I don't see him coming off the bench as providing us any value at all off the bench. And then the other one that I'm talking about, and I'm a Storm fan, and I don't mind him, and I like what he provides the Storm. But in terms of an Origin guy, Liero is just not an Origin player. I disagree, Jesse. He didn't play well in game. I think did you say that he didn't play well in game one? I think he offered us what he needed to offer us. It just wasn't, it's not flashy. It's not that. He just did what he had to do. He came on and did that role. But he's just not an Origin player. To me, he's just not an Origin dude. He doesn't. It just dumbfounds me. And if you're going to bring in Capewell because you want that grunt and that that scary guy, well then piss Liero off and bring the scary dude that you're going to put in your 20 jersey and in horse and have him come off and be a. Holy crap! I would be more than happy for him to come in and just explode, kind of like a Spencer Lenu does. And if he gets Sim in, I'll be like, yeah, shit, yeah, that's what we picked him for. I'm okay with that. We'll deal with it for 10 minutes. But it's not going to happen.
I'm shocked that looking at what's happened here and the omission of Fermor, that is absolutely shocking in my opinion. Like, we'll just focus on the forward pack for now, and the fact that you got bashed in game one. Everyone who knows rugby league and watch that game knows that. To then now go in and say we are literally going to be picking, or it's heavily rumored, the exact same forward pack, including the bench. That's the prime rocks in your head moment, isn't it? Like, that's just the definition of why we say that all the time. Like, you just got bashed. Like I said after game, I think we said in our live show straight after that game that the game two, I'd be having Tino and Carrigan as my front row forwards to start the game. Go out and just bash the crap out of New South Wales as much as you can. We know that's going to be it's easier said than done, but you have to do it.
Those two will do it.
Yeah, let Cotter be your 13 who will just clean up. Yeah, let Cotter be the 13 who just cleans up everything in D. Make him work his ass off in D. Let the other two work hard in attack. And then you have Corey Horsburgh come. I don't know if he's literally naming him just to be in an extended squad. I don't see it, because he should be coming in after 25 minutes and just ripping and tearing. Like you said, Trevor, I was going to say it as well. I would almost encouraging him to go to the limit and cross it, because that's what Queensland need at the moment. They need someone to come in and basically bully the bullies, because that's what New South Wales effectively done to Queensland in last game. You need someone to come out of their way and just go, you know what? So we're not going to cop this anymore. We're going to bash you. And that's what Horsburgh can do. I just will be shocked if tomorrow we look at this lineup and it is literally 8 to 10, 11, 12, 13, and then the bench forwards are exactly the same. In my opinion, they've already lost it.
Yeah, fully agreed. That's they need to make that change, and I think that's the best way that they can counter that forward pack for New South Wales. And there's no one else in the team that can do it. And even just looking through the team, like you look at the lack of forwards, they've got one actual edge forward on the bench, like in the whole team list, just one in Nanai. And then everything else that they've got is somewhere through a middle forward, and they're not even picking the best of the middle forwards to actually start. So it just doesn't make sense. They've got, like, between Tino and Carrigan, like, if you had to pick two to go up against anyone, like, you would be batting those two guys every single day of the week. They will contend with anyone. And if it is the same team, then I'm sorry, Trav, but I'd be a bit pissed off. I'd be a bit done with it. Before the game even kicks off, I'd be like, well, what are we expecting to see different now? Like, it'll be the same. Realistically, we've said it before. Like, you do the same thing, you pick the same team, you get the same result more often than not. But I think there will be a bit of change. There has to be.
There has to. One other name I'm surprised isn't on this list, and after game one, I thought they needed him, Jai Arrow. I thought Jai Arrow would have been set for this sort of game to just come on and do what we've seen him do. I actually think he's been really good for the Bunnies this year. He's played his role really well. He's got that aggro in him. And again, like I keep saying, like what Horsburgh can add, I don't think like Lindsay Collins, for instance, has done much at all this year. Like I would have been looking at someone like Horsburgh or Arrow come on off the bench and just go ballistic. Please give us that energy, give us that passion and play because you've actually been playing this year and you've been in form. I don't know. I just feel like they're missing that aggro. Trav?
Yeah, I think I've been saying that for now 20 minutes. Like it's just that's what I think we're missing for sure. I don't agree with Collins either. I don't mind Collins coming off the bench. I kind of like him coming off the bench. I'm a bit off Arrow, to be fair. Like I know what you're saying. He's been okay. He's been better at it than okay for the Rabbitohs, but I'm a bit off him. I think, yeah, I'm happy not to have him in the Origin team, to be fair, in my opinion. But I know what you're trying to say, and the point is absolutely valid, which is exactly what we've said for the last 15 minutes as we talk about this pack and why we want to make the changes we're making. And to be completely honest, Tino and Carrigan are almost as good. Tino can actually be classed as better than any of the front row forwards in the competition and has been for a very long time. And Carrigan's up there. So like they can certainly hold their own against against your Haas and stuff like that. So, you know, I've got it. My concern is just where they're sitting. And as you said, Jesse, like we don't have, like, again, we're playing players out of position and we're going to be playing them out of position. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Like this is not a Mitch Moses playing in 5'8", you know, like, we've got guys literally playing fully out of their positions. It just it doesn't sit right with me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that will be potentially out of position too. Like even in the back line, if they're putting Hammer on the wing, there's one. Like Dearden, I'm going to say is technically going to be out of position. I know he's been playing as a 7, but he's a very, very good 5'8". I don't think he'll lack at all. I don't know about the kicking game as far as that side of things goes with Cherry Evans missing, but there's another thing that you miss, especially when, if you're getting backed into a corner again, like the first half or the first 20 minutes specifically of game 1, the only thing that can kind of get him away from that pressure is a long kick. And, I'm not sure, like, I'm sure he can probably do it, but I look at Munster and Dearden and I go, well, that it's going to be a bit hard for him to sort of get out of something with those two as far as sending it. But there's just a lot of players that you just don't think are going to be where they should be positionally. And then even still, we haven't even gotten onto like I'm sure we will. There will be discussion on him at some point soon. But the Ezra Mam pick, like where does that come into it? Is this going to be like a 19th or something? Like is that what we're kind of hoping to see there? And same as Jack Howarth, there's a centre, a good one. Again, he's probably just come back from injury, a bit young still too. But like
game off his
yeah, he's one game through, and the same Mam's been playing 2-3 games since he's been picked. There's got to be better players at the moment, surely, that you can select from that actually have played, and that will probably get an actual a cheer when they run out at the same time. Like I just don't think it's what Queensland need at the moment.
You're right. Let's rip the bandit off. Let's talk DCE, the captain of Queensland in game 1, captain for a number of years now, dropped. Dearden will be the halfback. You're right there, Jesse, about what you said in regards to the halves maker. My worry isn't what Dearden will bring to this. We've seen him come on in game 1 and provide a lot of effort and really spark things for the Maroons. That was against a tiring pack, so I'll put that into the equation, but we know that's what Dearden's natural game is. He'll bring that. I've got no doubt about it. My huge concern at the moment regarding that is the kicking game. And in Origin, kicking game is key. And it's why we're so confident, I guess, as Blues supporters, knowing that we've got not just the best kicker in the game, we've got the second best kicker in the game as well. And they're both not just good short kickers, long kickers. And like you've said, there's sets in Origin where you'll only make 20 meters or something. You'll be kicking from your 30-meter line. You need a Cherry Evans boot if you're the Maroons to get you out of trouble. They now don't have that. So I'm not just talking about his leadership and that they'll now miss. I know he hasn't been in ideal form. I understand that. But they haven't replaced the kicking game at all. If anything, they've just gone from probably an 8 out of 10 kicking game down to like a 6. And in Origin, I just think that's huge alarm bells ringing.
What are your
Trav?
thoughts, Trav?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with it. I from what I see of Dearden and how I've watched him, and I watch him pretty closely because I'm a very big fan of Dearden. Yeah, do I think he's as good a kicker as DCE? No. DC is one of the better ones. But, there is only one kicking game of Cleary, and there is only one kicking game of Moses, and then there's sort of everyone else. Like, Katoa is getting there. Fogarty's got a very good kicking game. Dearden's is a bit underrated, but it's because we haven't seen it. So, it's because people haven't intently watched it because we don't class him as that type of guy. I watched him on the weekend. His kicking game was pretty good. I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. We're going to, it is what it is. I think Dearden's going to offer us a hell of a lot more than in and around that's going to make up for that. So I'm okay with it. I have no problems with that pick.
So the Cherry Evans dropping, I just want to go into this one more bit because Queensland go on about being loyal. They go on pick and stick and all this sort of jazz. They're absolutely full of what because mid-series this has now happened. I don't get it. I don't get the timing. Either do it before the series has started or you literally have the conversation with him and say, get us out of trouble now or your Origin career is done, which it is quickly wrapping up anyway. No doubt probably this series would have been his last anyway. But for someone who's been the captain for so long, who was the captain of the worst ever Queensland team of all time and got him the series win, I think he's done a hell of a lot for this team. And I've never, ever been a DCE fan, to be honest with you. I think not that highly of him, but one thing I'll give him respect for is in the Origin arena, he's always stood up time and time again whenever he's had this Maroons jersey on. So, and I heard Billy, and I put a post up today about it, the way it happened, the way he sort of didn't even get an in-person sort of meeting about this for your captain. I think that's really poor. And he would have known this was happening for almost, 2 weeks now. And to not even go down and fly. And he's in Sydney, Billy's in Sydney 2 or 3 days a week for his 9 commitments. You're telling me they can't arrange a half an hour catch up to say, mate, this is what's happening for moving forward. And I got no doubt GCE being, I'm putting my state first, would be all on board for this. But to do it via phone, I just think this whole Queensland spirit they talk about, dead and buried. Rest in peace. Because, honestly, it's just, I think that's really, really poor. Really poor.
I just think that's a New South Wales who bleeds blue talking shit. Seriously, that's all it is, really. That's all you're doing. You're just talking rubbish. You just need to settle down.
Wow.
DC, okay, DC, you can't just go and play. Right, so you both need to go back to the review show where you both called that DCE should be dropped and Dearden needs to come in because that's what you both did. And that's what so many people have done, right? So now when it actually happens, everyone makes this story and says, oh, no, God, it's so that you can do these sorts of things and have these chats so that then you can go and talk about how the Queensland Spirit's done and all that bullshit. That's all it is. That's all you're doing here because you both did call for DCE to be dropped and Dearden should come in. That's what you said. So,
You need
and
to
that's
go back
what
and
lots
listen to
of
the
people
Sunday
said.
show.
That's what
Yeah.
I don't care.
I went through the Sunday show and I said I will be shocked and pretty much appalled.
Yes, I know,
Cherry
and
Evans
we
gets
spoke
dropped.
about it last week on that. But when you go to your original straight after the straight after the game, and we had that live show, you both called for it. So now that it's happened,
that's
it's
heat
a
of the
whole
moment.
different. That doesn't
That's
matter.
heat of the moment.
But this is what the majority are calling for it. There is a lot of people saying that this is time. It is what it is. Just because you then go and play one NRL game and have a good one doesn't give you the chance to now go back in and go, all right, yep, I've played my good game. Put me back in. I'm good to go, coach. No, his form's been poor for a while. He's not been playing well enough. Who cares? It's as simple as that. I love DC. I'm actually a really big fan of DC. You're talking about you're not being one. Well, I am actually a fan of DC, and not just because of his that he's for Queensland. I actually really think he's a very good halfback and has been for a long time. But his form hasn't been good enough. It wasn't all that great last year, and it hasn't been good most of this year. And it's only had patches of being good and back and forth. And then he had one good week last week when his ass was on the line and he needed to play well. Well, do that in the Origin. Do that the last 2 games last year. He hasn't. So it's time. It is what it is. And it doesn't matter when it's going to happen, whether it happens before game 1, before game 2, or before game 3. A decision needed to be made because we were desperate to make a choice and we needed some attack and we needed this guy to come and do something, and it was time to do it. It's a big call. It's a big bally call. And I'm glad that Billy Slater has done that. I really am glad that he has made a big ballsy call, because we're sitting here for the rest of the last 25 minutes saying he's not making big ballsy calls in his forward back. And then he does make a big ballsy call and you're sitting there telling him he shouldn't have done it. So I really like that this has happened.
It's a big ballsy call in a position that he's not at the moment having the same problem as his forward pack. He's done 2 drops. He's dropped
but he hasn't played
2
well
plays. He's talking about bad form. Where's Fermor's bad form? He's been the most form forward, and he's dropped him anyway. There's more players that he's. If you look at half his team, the form is shit in half this team. I'd say worse than Cherry Evans. And he's
I agree. I disagree. DC has not played well at all. And if you talk to all the Manly fans and all of that out there, they're going to tell you exactly the same thing. His form has not been good. And there's been posts even on our own page around how bad his call was and how bad he's been since the day that he announced that he was going to leave Manly. It's as simple
100%.
as that. So his form has not been good at all. He's played 1 good game and a call's been made. And I love that a big ballsy call's been made.
DC Dearden was still in the side, and what Dearden brought to the team when he came on was really good for him, which now they're not going to have that option in that last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, but now he gets
players
to do
that they're
it
going to have on there. Does he?
It's different.
Yeah.
Does he, though? It's different. He won't do it for the first 50.
But he did that
He'll
for
have
Australia.
he'll have to make 40
year.
tackles now.
He played bloody well last year. And so what? That's what he does. Dearden loves that.
He played
So
well
we're talking about
last
how
year.
good players played last
though.
year.
And then he played really
well.
well. And then he played, but he's been playing the 7. He can. And in all of our reviews, we spoke around Tom Dearden. Just because he's put the 6 jersey on doesn't mean he's going to play as the 6. Like, Tom Dearden does everything. That's what we talk about him. And that's the constant conversation we've had about him. So, yeah. Anyways,
I think Dearden will be a great 7 for Queensland going forward. 100%. That's not an argument saying he's not a better player or whatever it is. He will be the guy. I just think what they should have done was basically gone, look, if this series is done, then in game 2 it's done with Cherry Evans, and we can see him off and see you later. And then game 3, when there's really nothing on the line anyway, put Dearden in, let him kill. And then the next year, Dearden, 1, 2, 3, you're the man. But now it's just like, cool, thanks for the 1 game, Cherry Evans. We're going to drop you anyway. See ya. Let's bring Ezra Mam in for some spirit. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's just a joke. It's just bullshit. And if I was a Queenslander, I'd be fucking pissed off. Excuse me. But I just think what they've done, let him have game 2. Let him have game 2. Dearden's still there. And then game 3, Dearden starts number 7 when they lose.
And just on, we're talking about poor form and things like that. In game 1, he was playing DCE this season, was playing behind, and we've all just said it, a pack that was absolutely dominated. And you can hear every single expert in the game talk about halves. Hear Andrew Johns, Brad Fittler, the like talk about it. Halves cannot do anything when their forward pack is getting absolutely decimated. And that is what happened in game 1. So what's Billy's response to that? You know, I'll keep all the forwards that just got dominated. I'll put all my trust back into that. But the guy that's got me out of a lot of trouble the last 3 or 4 years, I'm just going to put it all on him. I'll tell you one other thing. In that spine in game 1, after going back and watching the game and that again, he wasn't the worst spine member in that game. It was Harry Grant by a country mile. That was one of the worst games I've probably ever seen Harry Grant play. And he, if anyone, probably should have got dropped if we're talking about form. DCE is basically the scapegoat right now, and I just don't like it. I don't think it suits what Queensland sit for, to be honest.
I don't agree. I don't agree. A big call needed to make. The form's not good. The form hasn't been good. He's had 1 good game. Decision was made, and it's a clear decision of we don't think DC is going to be able to lead us a game. We're going to have to make a big call and go from here. I've already told you about the front row. I'm all with you on that. I absolutely think there's been some monster mistakes there in what he's done and how he's gone, but I'm very supportive of the pick of Dearden and playing in that 7. I'm very happy with that. The Ezra Mam thing is a whole different story. That's a whole different thing. But yeah, I don't think that's anything. And to be fair, if I'm not going to pick DC, I'm not going to go and put him in the 20 jersey and have him in the camp. Like, I'm either going to pick him and play him or not. Right. Yeah. So that's the Ezra Mam thing's very, very different. But yeah, I'm very comfortable with that matchup. Oh, sorry, not that matchup, but that pick.
Let's unfold the last bit then. Ezra Mam, the selection of Ezra Mam, and And what it stands for, I think everyone knows, all three of us, Jake as well, we've all been very strong in our opinions since that whole incident has happened on Ezra Mam. What I'll say on this at the moment, one first point is the fact that this is Origin camps, things happen. If Deedon or Cameron Munster go down, Ezra Mam's playing Origin game 2. That's where this is at the moment. And I think for now, that in itself is outrageous, because there was a guy that I think it was Jesse mentioned a bit earlier, who I would be putting in here every day of the week for this reason. If one of those are to go down, the other player just goes straight into the 6 jersey naturally. They're both 5'8". Jamal Fogarty should be in Ezra Mam's jersey right now. He has been the form halfback of the competition by probably, apart from Katoa, by a mile with those two, and has the kicking game we continue to talk about. He's the fullback option at the moment, and in the squad, technically, if Slater's watching training going on for the next week or so, and he can clearly see the kicking game is a huge issue, and we all know Origin can almost be won and lost because of the kicking game, and he can see Jamal Fogarty's there going well, the boot's on fire, which it normally is every single week of every game he plays. I'm shocked to start with that Jamal Fogarty isn't in this team. Now, Ezra Mam, I don't know what this is a prime example. What I said earlier, what is Billy trying to do here? Like, what did Queensland, Benny Eichen, the Queensland board, all the selection panel, are they legit right now doing, like, selecting this? I want to know, Trav first, the Queensland supporter here. What are your thoughts around Ezra Mam wearing the Queensland jersey, being around camp this week, and the possibility is that he could be playing next Wednesday?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping he doesn't. You're right,
and
you summed it up really well. Like, you and I, particularly Joel, because in a few things that we've done by ourselves, but then also Jesse has said as well, is that, you know, we've been very negative and very scathing of Ezra Mam and what's happened. He's done his time, right? At the end of the day, we don't agree with it. We don't agree with the system and what's happened. We don't agree with the consequences that were given to him. But we have to live by that. We do. We've got to live by it, and that's what's happened. So he's there to be picked. The pick is there, right? I don't think we can be harsh on him in terms of that. Do we agree with it? No, we don't. But I think it is what it is. Like, we've got to get over this notion of this is what he did and he did this and he shouldn't be. Well, you know, at the end of the day, the consequences were given and we have to live by those consequences that were given, whether we agree with it or not. Do I like that he's there? No. Do I agree? I've been very, very high on Fogarty and said that I thought Fogarty should have almost been picked in game 1. And the only reason why I didn't pick him for game 1 was based on some experience and things, but I still think that he should have been picked for game 1, and I would love to have seen him be picked for this one too. So yeah, I don't like it, but I'm not as scathing and as harsh on it, because at the end of the day, me as a person in society can have an opinion. I don't like it, but we've got to live by it. Like, I've got to live by those consequences that we're given. As much as I don't like them, we've got to. And the consequences given, he's done that now. He's weighed into it. Now he's able to go and play. I'm still going to boo him. I'm still going to hate him in bits and pieces of it. Actually, no, I don't hate him, but I'm still going to have that scathing mentality towards him because I didn't like the consequence. But, you know, it is what it is. That's probably not the answer you wanted, Joel, but yeah, I've been sort of thinking about it for the last day or so.
Jesse.
Yeah, well, yeah, Trav is right. He didn't decide his punishment. The NRL did. He served the punishment that they told him to serve, and he did. So he didn't choose to get selected. He was selected. You know what I mean? So you can't point the finger and say you as an individual can jam it. He can, for sure, definitely. I'm not a fan of anything. And I just think, like, me personally, I think, look, he shouldn't be playing this year, let alone being rewarded on the biggest stage as far as it goes in Origin. Or even if he doesn't run out onto the field, he was selected, and that's something in itself, considering Fogarty, like, one, wasn't. And, you know, they will probably lack what he can bring more so than what Mam could bring to a side if he does get called upon. But I just think from what they look like, if you were to look at this side, you know, third-party context and just say, like, what is Slater trying to achieve with this team? I don't know what he's trying to achieve by picking Mam. And that's where I'd be like, you're really losing it now, aren't you? Like, this is panic stations, and you're just, I don't know. Are you just playing mad scientist stuff and trying to find something? Is he going to bring something to the camp that someone else can't? I doubt highly. I don't like it. I don't like it for the Queensland side. I don't think he brings anything more to the table than what they've already got, especially as a 6, considering they've got 2 of the best 6s in the comp in their team starting. So I don't know where he takes that spot in particular. I don't think he can do much more outside of that. And I just don't like seeing his name there. That's just another thing. I just don't like seeing Ezra Mam included in an Origin side, and that's just a personal bias. So
I'll give you another name that I think that I would rather in there. If you're not going to pick Fogarty, maybe based off his age or where it's at, what about Jaden Campbell? Like I would.
I'm surprised.
I would have loved
I'm
to
very
have seen that
surprised.
there instead of Ezra Mam. Like Ezra Mam's only played 2 games. Campbell's played all year, so like there's another one like that you could have put in if you want to give Origin experience to it, and you want to give him the culture shock, and you want to give him values and do all those sorts of things that maybe you're picking him for that, because that's really all they're doing. They're just, but I reckon Billy's just sitting there going, I don't want him to play, but I want him to be around at the camp, and I want him to grow up a little, and I want him to have some conversations with some people and do all that sort of stuff. Oh, I mean, Jaden Campbell would have frothed at the mouth for that.
Yeah, I think Campbell would have been a really good addition, to be fair, and I think he can do a lot more for that side than Mam could. But do you reckon it's like he's just trying to soften what's happened around Ezra Mam's name over the last,
Yeah, Origin's not the right place to do that shit.
Yeah,
no, it's definitely not, and I don't see what other reason it could be.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's like he hasn't even earned it yet. Like you can't even sit there and go, he's genuinely earned this jersey. He hasn't. And I feel like there's still a part of Origin, like even in the extended squad, where you need to be in enough form where you're earning the jersey, and you need to be playing well enough for the entire year that he just hasn't. And it was only last week where he came out in the media and bagged at everyone booing him, basically saying that he didn't understand it and get over it type thing. Like, he hasn't learned anything yet.
He blamed the Lenu thing.
He blamed the Lenu thing. He had no idea that people were booing him for what actually happened. He blamed the Spencer Lenu bit. But to be fair, yes, it's exactly right. In 2023, Ezra Mam was really good, and they went to a grand final. In 2024, Ezra Mam was pretty mediocre. It didn't work out, and he wasn't very good. In 2025, he's played 2 games. So really, the last time Ezra Mam played good footy was in 2023.
So he hasn't earned it.
So he hasn't earned it. That's exactly right. So that's the thing. And if he had to come out in the second game, like he played the first game where he was a monster, like that first game in his return, geez, he was good. He was really good. Let's get credit where it's due. Kudos for what it was. He was very good in that game, but he didn't do that last game. And I mean, he didn't need to. They washed the Titans, but you've got to show more if you're going to get an Origin jersey, and he hasn't.
No.
Yep.
I don't get it. I really don't. I hate seeing it. I really do. I hate him. I hate everything. I just don't think it's fair on others like Fogarty, for instance, who has been killing it all year. I think this spot would have been ideal for him. Like you both spoke about it, where both halves right now are ideally 6s at this level. I just feel like Fogarty having him there as a backup to if anything was to go wrong would have been the perfect move. And let's not forget, like we haven't even spoken about in this episode, but like Kalen Ponga hasn't been in great form this year either. So it's like they're coming in at the moment. Yeah. And it's just like, what storylines does Billy think is going to come out of the fact that he selected Ezra Mam? Nothing good. I'll give you the heads up. There's not going to be a single good headline to come out of this. It's not like it's a story where if it will happen maybe in 12 months time, we're maybe talking more about the storyline of, you know what, Ezra Mam's killed it the last 12 months. He's done a really great job of coming back, showing remorse. He's spoken to the family, things like that. He's really done himself great on the footy field as well. He's been really good. He's back to being one of the form playmakers in the competition. And he's earned this selection where it's just so fresh in everyone's mind. It's just not a good fit. It really isn't. But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That could be
Pretty
the
much.
famous last words. If there is a loss, just quickly the predictions for game 2, guys. What do we got? Just the winner. Give me a first try scorer, and then give me your man of the match as well. I'll go bottoms up, Trav.
New South Wales. Did you say score?
No, you can do anything.
Oh, okay.
What is the winning
score.
margin if you want? Cover yourself.
Oh, I'll go score. 26-10. And first try score, I'm going to go Lomax.
Ooh, like that. Man of the match?
Cleary.
Ooh. Jesse?
We got Blues, 36-12.
Oh, you bitch.
Yeah, it's drubbing. I will say it's the first try scorer.
Yep.
I will go first try scorer, Stephen Crichton. Just gunning it through. Man of the match. I will go for Yo.
You have gone so close to pretty much everything I'm saying.
All right.
I'm going Blues, 34 points to 10. I'll have first try scorer. I'll go the other Crichton, Angus Crichton. And then man of the match, I will, you know what? I anticipated it in game 1 and he didn't do it. So I'm going to double down and go him again, game 2, to have a huge game. Latrell Mitt. I think he might come out and do something this game. Maybe it was the occasion he was trying to keep a temper on his emotions and things like that. Maybe this is the game he comes out, entertains the Perth crowd in a number of ways. Who knows? But that's it. Thank you very much. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, all that sort of jazz. Include social media posts as well. Again, huge shout out to the Caxton Street Brewing Company jumping on board this year as our major sponsor. Very much thankful for that one. We do have a game 2 watch party that at the moment we have a giveaway for also. So please make sure you go ahead, go to our page. I've pinned it to the top of both our Facebook and Instagram pages. All you have to simply do is follow the page and tag who you'll be coming with. It's 2 double passes, so a great chance of winning. And you can come and watch Origin with myself, and Trav will attend on behalf of League of Inches on next Wednesday night. It's 2 hours of wings and basically all you can drink as well for the 2 hours for the house-made beers and wine and a couple of non-alcoholic selections as well for those that aren't drinking on the night because it's a school night. That's it. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Trav. As always, up the mighty Blues.
Up the Blues.